and gentlemen of the 118 scale, 3.75 inch, 4-inch modern action figure community. I am back again with another video. And in this video, we're going to be discussing none other than G.I. Joe Renegades Edition. So over the course of the last few months, we've discussed many different law enforcement agencies. We discussed FBI SWAT units. We've discussed sheriff SWAT units. We've discussed police officers, special police entities, and a slew of other types of action figures here on this channel. But today, we're going to talk the Renegades version of the Cobra Trooper, which is a security officer, which is something I've never actually discussed. So without further ado, let's get into this. So in about the year 2011, to line up with the G.I. Joe's Renegades cartoon, they started releasing action figures to coincide with that cartoon. It was a different take on the action figures in the modern form that we have come to love. So here, if you notice, the Renegades figures were, I'd say they were a very different version of cartoon. This is what the cartoon figures look like. And here is what the Cobra Troopers look like, which is very different from the Cobra Troopers that we've come to know as a part of the G.I. Joe franchise. So here's the card that they were released on. I think the art was very nicely done. Even though they have this very different look, the figure is still lined up with all the other modern figures. They pretty much fit right on in. A couple different head sculpts were used on these, but nonetheless, they all fit right into place. Here's what the back look like. If you want, you can pause and read that. There you go. Of course, some warnings. Nice art back here. Full body look at the cartoon version of this figure. Cobra Infantry. And here was the list of collectible figures that were released under this wave. Awesome. You have Cobra Commander, which is a very different looking Cobra Commander from what we came to know. There's your Cobra Trooper again. And just the cartoon version of these figures look very different from what we were used to. So here is a look at the actual figures that were offered to us under that line. Love or hate them, I like these guys. Pretty cool. I think it was a very different look at the Cobra Trooper, and it's something different to team build. And when I see these guys, I see more of the Cobra industry keeping their properties and premises safe, you know, like the loss prevention, making sure that their warehouses are fully stocked and no one's stealing from them, making sure that, you know, their interests are secured. So let's get a look at some of the equipment first. First and foremost, like you saw on the card, you have this head sculpt, or in this case, the way he looks in the cartoon is like this. But the Cobra Troopers that we've always got had covered faces, and that's what you're seeing here. We're going to take a look at that in a second. But these figures come with a second head sculpt, and this is the head sculpt that you're seeing on the box. So, you know, and I think it's a cool head sculpt because it's different. It's very uniformal, so you can actually paint it if you wanted to change it up a little, put a little mustache on it or whatever. It depends on, you know, it'll call out. It'll call out your inner creativity and your inner customizer, so to speak. So that's what it looks like. That's a 360 view of this head sculpt. I think it's pretty cool. But for me, I'm not a fan of using this head sculpt on these guys. I want to keep them all faceless so that they don't look alike, you know. So there you have it. First and foremost, you get a head sculpt. And you know what I always say, I love when they offer figures with extra head sculpts because that just goes more towards your ability to customize other figures when you have extra head sculpts just laying around. Head sculpts are very hard to come by these days. All right, next they have this baton, which is really hard to find for action figures, but fortunately some have come available. Nicely done. No paint app on that. It definitely looks like the batons that police carry around the country, possibly around the world. I know growing up in New York City, the cops carried these and they'd walk around swinging them and spinning them. They're very aggressive. You know you didn't want to get hit with one of those things. So there you have it. Next, they all come with a set of handcuffs, which are open so that you can actually clamp them down to the wrist. So if you want to arrest, G.I. Joes or whatever other figure line of a 1/18 scale, rather, they should fit right in there. And that's a closer look if you want to see how detailed it is. Pretty cool. All right, moving right along. As detailed in the file card description, you have next the Plasma Pulse weapon system. Now, if you go back and watch some of the Renegades cartoons, they actually use these guns, and they have when the Renegades first meet Snake Eyes, he actually saves the G.I. Joe crew from a group of these guys. And if you see they're using these plasma guns, they sound very aggressive on the cartoon. It is pretty cool. So, I mean, if you're interested, go check out the cartoons if you've never seen any of them. But that's their plasma pulse weapon system. That's what it's called. Awesome. Next, they have their own, of course, figure stands, which has come to be known on most of the figures. Some of them do not have stands. The whole Retaliation line, there's no action figure stands to be found. They just have these very generic black plastic dog tag looking things. But these are customized tags or customized stands for this particular figure. So there you have it, Cobra Trooper. It's got the Cobra logo on it, and it's pretty plain Jane, but cool to have. You know, if you're into displaying these figures, at least it has their name on the bottom. Next, let's look at the figures, see what they're equipped with. First and foremost, this is that head sculpt that I told you I would show you later. It is essentially the same head sculpt with a covered face. Now, I kind of like how they have this very deep neck covering. I like that. Some people don't. It depends on how you feel about these figures. But being that I don't play with any of these things, it's kind of cool to see the different ways they went about, creating the figures. Next, they have this giant Cobra logo on the chest. That's pretty cool. And this, by the way, is a removable vest. If you look at the back, it says security with another Cobra logo. And I don't know who designed that Cobra logo back there, but it's looking a little suspect. All my adult watchers know what I'm talking about, but it does look a little suspect. But anyway, moving right along. Stay on track here. So you notice back here he has this little hole, and that I believe he is able to mount his cuffs there. Awesome. He doesn't have any other mounting positions for anything else, but ultimately that's what he has. He has a hole for his handcuffs. Pretty cool. Here he has pouches, various pouches. He has Cobra logos on his shoulders and black gloves, skin tone. So if you look, he has this weird red cuffs on everything, and I don't like that, but it's just very different. But I don't dislike it, but I don't like it. It's somewhere in the middle for me. It is what it is. Then he also has these giant knee pads, which they could have toned down these knee pads a little. They're huge. If you look at the other figure, look how big they are, but they don't hinder anything. I mean, his legs still move with no issue. They go together like nothing, but they are removable. So if you're not into that, you can take them off. Unfortunately, underneath they're pegged. So if you take them off, you got that annoying peg coming out, stopping your progress, So with all that being said, my grade for these gentlemen here, for this particular figure style, I'm going to give them a C plus, and that's due to, you know, I don't think they're a B level figure, but they are a C plus just for the simple fact that they're very team buildable. Also they're getting kind of rare, so I mean, anytime you can get your hands on these, it's a plus. So I'm going with C plus on this. I like that they have the extra head sculpt, but what I don't like, I'm not a big fan of the gun, the knee pads, the weird red cuffs on everything. But other than that, just a cool figure, and he's worth getting, just to put in your collection. So with that being said, I'm going to end this video right here. If you got any questions, feel free to put them down below. I'll get back to you at my earliest convenience. Thank you for watching these videos. My subscriber group is growing. I appreciate you all. I'm gonna keep these videos coming for you. So I'm gonna try to do it every Friday. So hopefully I got some good things coming for you. I got some plans. So I'll see you on the next one. Peace.